Counting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey my fellow YouTubers, it's your girl Mama V here and Baby Daddy for another video. And we come with you guys with our very humble, it's gonna be a little sad video because as you can see, I'm wearing my Lakers shirt and Baby Daddy is wearing a Kobe shirt. And so we're gonna be just kind of discussing his loss and as our fellow fans kind of grieving together. And yeah, and so Baby Daddy, want to tell them what we have before we jump into this heavy topic?
So we got Rudy Can't Fail in Emeryville, and I got the macho fries.
It's a lot, like basically everything.
Yeah, I got the beef chili version, and then I got the catfish sandwich with a side of coleslaw. Mama V got which sandwich did you get?
A turkey sandwich. It's like the bread's all soggy now though, and then some hash browns and some pickles on the side.
Yeah, they gave me pickles too.
And sriracha to spice up this sandwich. So yeah, as you guys know, unfortunately,
we lost Kobe this weekend, and it kind of took a while to process the whole loss of Kobe and his daughter and the families that were on board.
And everyone's grieving. We lost a big icon, but keeping in mind people have lost family members, right?
Yeah.
These people are part of their day-to-day lives. And, you know, Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife, lost her husband, lost one of her daughters. There was another family, a mom and dad and a daughter on board, who had 2 kids at home. And there was a coach, baseball coach, right?
Was there a baseball coach?
I believe so. And then a mom who was one of the coaches for the academy. And then, of course, the pilot. And so we just kind of wanted to do this video. I initially wanted to do it for our Sunday dinners, but Baby Daddy, as I'm sure a lot of you guys were and very big fans of Kobe, so we just delayed the video to kind of let people process. People are still in disbelief. It's only been 3 days. So yeah. Yeah,
it was just way too, like, to touch on it, like, at that time was, like, even now it's still, like,
pretty hard saying it out loud. Yeah, I think the hardest part is, like, saying it out loud and, like, yeah, and so Baby Daddy's a little bit emotional right now, as we can all see.
I didn't think I would, like, get like this.
Yeah, actually, it's the most emotional I've seen you. I mean, Sunday you were pretty, like, you were, like, not really talking, didn't really feel like doing anything, just kind of wanted to be to yourself. And kind of a special story with this shirt is we went to Kobe's second or third last game of his season when he played in 2016.
When he announced he was going to retire.
Yeah, so that last season, and these are the shirts that we wore to the game. I am a Warriors fan, so I gonna be very truthful. I didn't have a Lakers shirt at the time, so I bought a Lakers shirt because
we went to the mall to get geared up.
Right before the game, because it was a night game.
And then we had stopped by, like, a random, like, FedEx print shop to print the tickets.
Yeah, and it was just like these were the last game was around Baby Daddy's his birthday in 2016. I don't remember how old you turned, so I surprised him with the tickets. And
I was so ecstatic because
he's lived in LA his whole life,
and I've never went to go watch. And when she told me we're going, I was like, oh my god.
And not only
that's like the biggest, like, the dopest thing I could ever get for her birthday, to go see Kobe. And she got hella good seats. Like, we were right, like, above the player walk-in.
Yep, so
literally right above it. So, like, when they were walking out, I have a video where it's like, Kobe's walking out, everyone's yelling his name, I'm yelling his name, I'm just looking at my freaking hero.
It was crazy because we're literally right above the entrance, as Baby Daddy has said.
The player walking.
you know, like you have the 100 section. We were the first row of the 200 section.
First row, like literally nobody was in front of us, which was awesome.
You could see everything.
You could see everything.
And we were like at the diagonal point of the court, so you could see both teams, and you know, the team, and then like, you know, you have the benches and stuff, and so you could see the players.
Odell Beckham was at that game.
And we can insert clips and pictures I've been posting on my Instagram and my social media, but like,
yeah, I was just so ecstatic. Yeah. Like I was like bliss. Like,
yeah, I'm not even a big Lakers fan, but the love in the stadium, like people are constantly chanting Kobe, Kobe, and he had a good game. We had a good game that day.
He did. I'll tell you a story. Like me and my homies never went to a game together. Like it's always been separate. And then one night we were driving around downtown, and then they had the game on. They were playing at the Staples Center, and I remember my first time ever being at the Staples Center. We had pulled up, and then we were like trying to get a peek in. We were just like by the outside doors, just trying to see if we could see the game. But all you can see is the stands and everything, but you could hear the roars of the crowd and everything. And then I always wanted to go see him live, and when I got the opportunity from Mama V, I was just like so thankful. Like,
so kind of like the funny thing, right, is that was actually Tim Duncan's last season, and I've always been a big fan of Tim Duncan Spurs. I never been to Texas, never lived in Texas, but when the Dreamcast was still around, I always used to play on the Spurs team, and that's when like Tim Duncan was like hot. Like that was when the Spurs were on fire, and so it was funny because I was like, oh man, like those games were expensive for the Spurs too. And so we were weighing out our options, and I was like, oh, well, maybe Duncan will go another season. He didn't announce his retirement yet. And I had bought the Lakers tickets. And this was like, we were just fresh out of college, you know.
Yeah.
And so, and the year right before we had the girls. And so we ended up going to the Lakers game, and I was like, oh man, like I miss Tim Duncan, like his last season and all that. But I wouldn't trade the experience. Like once I got to the stadium, like I felt hyped. Like I felt like I was a Laker fan all my life. Like, and it was like crazy, the love for him, and they had a good game.
Kobe!
Lakers fans, gear up with new Lakers merchandise during tonight's game without missing the action. Place your merchandise order through the Lakers mobile app and get your...
And so, LA has been hit twice, right? Nipsey Hussle, which Baby Daddy was also a very big fan of because he's from LA, and then the Kobe event. And it's just so unfortunate, you know, for his family. I can't imagine how those families feel. But it was very interesting because, like, thinking about, like, processing and, like, mental health and, like, all that, is, like, it's weird, right? Because as fans, sometimes we never met that person. We didn't know them on a personal level, right? But we feel pain, right? We're feeling the grief. Like, I've seen people, grown men, on Snapchat crying, like, Kobe really died, and they're like, I'm really crying, you know? And I just wanted to bring this up is there is a person on Dr. B. Shabazz, who is stated from LA, so I think they're a therapist or psychologist, and so anyway, somebody had reposted her, and she explained it very great, and she said, we spend so much time following icons on their journeys and appreciating their meaning and value. They add to our lives, that we feel as if we know them. Loss of any kind is hard, and although the psychological effects can be the same, there are no social supporters for parasocial grieving. So parasocial grieving, she's saying, is like grieving for someone you didn't personally know. And then if you find yourself experiencing this type of grief, just know you're not delusional. This loss may trigger other emotions related to other losses of your own. When to disconnect, so you need to disconnect from media to allowing the same information to play on a constant loop can be re-traumatizing and increase distress. And you have permission to take time and space to grieve in the way that works for you. No one should tell you how long or how you should grieve. We all do it differently. It's okay to reach out to someone who will listen or a qualified mental health professional if it gets too much to deal on your own. And so that was like an interesting way, because there's really no way to really grieve, right? It's not like we go to the funeral, we're able to share like specific memories with that person, but it like the love that his like the brotherhood from the NBA and all the people he impacted and all the fans, the love you've been seeing on social media can be overwhelming. But I feel like we find ourselves drawn to social media because that's a way to grieve with everybody. You're like, oh, that's how I feel too about losing Kobe. You know, another fan shares their memory, and it just comforts you in a way.
With that point, like, I think Spencer made a really good comment because he grew up in LA, Spencer from the Nets, and he had said that, like, from that time period when Kobe was started, if you grew up in Southern California, he was the guy to be. He was the person that you wanted to watch all the time. Mm-hmm. Which is, like, true. Like, you know, growing up down south, like, every time you play ball, everybody had a Kobe mentality. Like, it was always go for the neck and go score. Like, man, like, I have, like, a lot of memories about Kobe because I could touch on a few right now. So, one memory I had of Kobe, like, back in the day, we never had cable, so we never had, you know, ESPN or TNT. So, we had this, like, little-ass TV that my dad had bought, and it was in me and my brother's room, and then when my brother went out to the military, they used to broadcast all the Laker games on Channel 9. And my friend, I'll call him G Money because that's his name in our fantasy league. He had brought it up to me as well. Like, dude, do you remember when they were on Channel 9 and you could just like watch the games on regular basic cable? And then that's when my mom started getting into it because I would always want to watch it. And then my dad would just like creep in, you know, and just hang out with us because my brother was off in the military. And like that's like a really strong memory I have. Like, that's when me, my mom, and dad were just like
bonded.
And there was a time where I was going through a lot in my life where my mom was worried about like how things were gonna end up with me, and like just having me there watching the game with her kind of brought her a sense of like, you know, my son's here actually, you know. Yeah. Like, I don't have to worry too much.
It was like the one thing she knew you would be there for.
Yeah. And then, you know, as I grew older, like, yeah, like, I try to be there for my mom more, but back to, like, we would always watch Kobe games, and even when I was with my boys, like, yeah, dude, like, the Lakers game's on, let's go chill, and then we had just graduated high school, and then we were in it. Like, Kobe brought us to the finals against the Celtics, and it was, like, so bittersweet, because, like, the Celtics beat us that time, and then I was like, damn. You know, Kobe was right there. He almost had it. And then next year, boom, he took us right back there against the Celtics. No, the first time he took us right back and we had played the Magic. That's when Dwight Howard was leading the team. And boom, we got it. I remember we were in like San Jose and we were like visiting our cousins, and then the game was on and I was like, damn, yeah. That's what's up. My mom was like, oh, they're playing right now. Let's go watch. And then, yeah, we beat the Magic. We got the championship. Boom, we're back in there next year. We're back in it next year against the Celtics. Boom, we go back to back. And then, we're trying to get that third one. And I remember it. It was, I think it was the game against Dallas, when Dallas just took us out.
Oh, the Mavericks?
Yeah, and I remember it because Andrew Bynum got ejected because J.J. Barea was going to the lane and he had given him a fragment, like one of those like really tough fouls, and he had got kicked out the game, and I was like, damn, you know, like we couldn't hit that three-peat, you know.
It kind of sounds like a Draymond. What happened with the Warriors?
Yeah, so he had got... I want to bring up another memory. I remember when I was like...
Can I pause real quick?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Mavericks. So they respectfully are retiring number 24 in honor of Kobe.
Yeah, I remember when I was like really young, and then my mom would always take us to these like little parties with her and her friends, and then like I guess like there was a guy there that he might have been dating one of my mom's friends, and then he noticed that I was watching the game, so
How
he
old were you, maybe?
I may have been like still in middle school, maybe yeah, it's still in middle school because. Yeah, it's still in middle school, and I had like sat down and I was watching it on the TV, and then he had noticed, so he had sat down and he started talking to me like, "Oh yeah, that's how this, that, and the other," and I was like I didn't know back in the day, I didn't watch basketball like that. Like I just knew the game was on, and he was kind of like walking me through the whole game, and I was like, "Damn, I remember that."
You grew up with him.
Yeah. Like Kobe was just like throughout our generation, like he was our GOAT, like,
and still is
the GOAT. Like in my opinion, I didn't see Jordan play, so I don't know how. And LeBron is doing his thing right now, but like right now, Kobe was the best.
LeBron, and like that's like crazy, and I think that's why it's cool. Like if you're a Lakers fan, or if you know a couple of other Lakers fan, or somebody who just loves basketball, or who is somebody who's a Kobe fan, I think it's like very therapeutic to talk to somebody about it and just reminisce of the good times, right? And then at some point it's still painful, right, because it's the end of an era. But at the same time, like, share the love, share the memories you had, share the love. I think that's like so good. And I was like, I really want to do the video and just want to talk to the fans. And like, I wasn't a big Kobe fan, but I mean, we've been dating for like 7 years, and like that's all we hear. Like, I'm telling you, like, I didn't realize like he has so much Lakers stuff. Like, I'd be like, dude, when are you done with Lakers gear? Like, and not even Lakers gear, but Kobe's gear. Like, you got the Kobe shoes, the Kobe shirt. That's like one of the many Kobe shirts. We got one, I think for one of our anniversaries or birthday, or sometimes I do random gifts here, to be like, yeah, I know I'm hard to deal with. Here's a gift. But I was at SF Pier and I saw this Laker hat and I was like, yo, that's fresh. And then I was like, wait, but like you got hecka Lakers hat. I was like, what's going to make it like the Laker hat? And so I was like, yo, like off the top, I was like, Kobe. So you know how lids, they etch in anything on the side, right? But they won't etch in a logo because of copyright purposes and all that. So they etched in number 24 and Kobe's signature from online that they did, and like it's legit. And he still has this hat, and I'm like, and that hat, like the girls done stained the brim of it, the underneath of it. It's still in good condition, but the brim. And I was like, oh, we'll just get it redone. But we haven't been able to find that hat because it's not a snapback, it's a fitted hat. So finding that fitted hat in his size has been hard because, like, I don't know if y'all know this, but obviously different areas, depending where the lids is, you'll have different types of hats. Obviously they'll have the main team in your city, but that hat we haven't been able to see at other lids. Especially
out here because,
it's a Bay Area. It's a Bay Area house. So that and like Kobe jerseys, like you got like 2 Kobe jerseys, you got the swingman and you got the official Kobe, and you got so many like Lakers gear. And I used to be like, dude, this is so much stuff, like so much Lakers stuff. Like you could probably wear all that LA stuff for like a whole month and not have to repeat. But then you look at situations like this of like that jersey, like the minute we found out about Kobe, like he put that jersey on.
Yeah,
and,
I put the first jersey that she had bought me, and I just wore it the whole day. Like, okay.
He was asleep in it, yo. And he took it to work and hung it. Real one, Jack London, right? Because it's not a lot of Lakers fan or people who have Kobe jerseys on.
So I have a window seat. My desk has a window seat. And then I was like, dude, it was Monday. I had gotten into work, and the first thing I did was I had hung the jersey right outside the window. So if you were an onlooker passing by in my building at Jack London, you would see the 24. Bryant. I reversed it so you could see the last name, Bryant, in 24. But yeah, I had wore that jersey the whole day, and then I had gone out a few times, and people were like, "Oh, dude, it's such a tragic loss." And then I was like, like I didn't get into it with like I usually do. Like if you watch our other videos, like I'm very like social, and then like
he'll be like, "Yeah, Lakers, blah blah blah," and then like this time he's like, "Yeah, it's really sad." He didn't want to socialize
I didn't even
with anybody.
socialize with anyone. Like they would say it's such a tragic loss, and I would agree. I'd be yeah, and I just that's it. Pushing, like because at that time it was like very real for me. Like when how I found out is the girls wanted something to eat, so Mama V was getting her hair did, and I was like, let's go out to eat. So I had gotten the girls' food. I was driving back. I was talking to my mom. We were talking about Lakers stuff. And I was like, all right, Mom, I'm getting close to the house. I'll talk to you later. And after I hung up, boom, my phone's blowing up. Like all the homies, every single one was like, did you see? Did you see? Did you see? And
this was no more than 20 minutes that it hit the media. Yeah,
and I looked at it and I said, no, it can't be Kobe. And then the way he had, oh
shit. You're fine.
The way that he had, it happened to him was like, it was even more heartbreaking to hear, like his daughter was with him. So that's like...
Yeah. That's rough.
Rough. I had a little comfort. I was like, okay, at least his family wasn't with him,
Yeah, because he flew on that helicopter all the time, and then when it was like, the one of his daughters was with him, and then it was four other people, and then it became 9 other people. Like the story as it progressed. I mean, as you guys know, I don't want to pour sand on the wound. Yeah, you guys know, and
so yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
And I was going to say, so when I had found out, I was just like, boom, I instantly called my mom, like, Mom, did you see the news on Kobe? And she said, what? And I told her, and then she was like, oh, my God. And then I was like, I know, I'll call you back. And then that whole day, I was just, like, in a funk. Like, I couldn't get out of it. Like, every time I would see it, I would get emotional. And then when I went into work, like, everyone's, like, asking me how I feel. Yeah. Because... everyone's a Warrior,
everybody knew you were a Laker fan. Even my family, like, my friend texted me to confirm the news. Like, that's how, because she knew Baby Daddy was, like, a big fan. So I was at the hair salon, and she's washing my hair out. And, and
I
my
had
phone
texted her
went up, and
before I even called my mom. I was like, dude, Kobe just died.
And it was, like, 11 o'clock in the morning. My phone never blows up, like, that much, and I hear ding, 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 ding. And people are, like, in group chats texting me, like, and so, like, I read, my best friend, I read her text first, and it was, like, Kobe died, ? And I was, like, I got out that message, and I looked at Baby Daddy's message, and he was, like, Kobe died. Like, it was a statement, and I was just, like, bro, you tripping. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, nah. He was like, nah, for real. And I was like, what? And so...
I think I, refreshed this, the feed. Like, I kept looking to... Because my coworker had told me, one of his daughters was in the helicopter. And I was, so, heartbroken. I was like, no. Like, I kept refreshing the feed. I kept looking... Just hoping that it wasn't true.
Yeah, because TMZ broke the news before anybody could really confirm, before the coroner's office could confirm the identities and all that. So a lot of it was speculation at that moment when we first learned. But I think it was no more than 45 minutes later, you see all the news media updating it and saying all that. And so, yeah, people are, even some of my cousins hit me up like, oh man, it's a hard day for NBA, but Laker fans in general, and they're like, oh, I know Baby Daddy's a real fan, hopefully he's okay. And I even said, well, it's a touchy subject, we don't really talk about it for the past couple of days, because it's hard, and it's hard for a lot of fans, and I can't imagine. I think in a way, we also just need to be respectful of his family and their privacy. I know there's a lot of video circulating of the crash and all that, but we have to realize that
a lot of people are saying that footage is fake.
If it's fake or not, he still has family. He has a daughter that obviously I'm sure she has social media or she knows how to look up the internet.
When they had sent me the homie sent it, and I was like, dude, I don't need to see that.
It's just, we have to realize these people are humans and they still have families and they're still, civilians at some point, at some extent. And so it's just heartbreaking. It's I know everybody want to know all the details and stuff, but let the law enforcement, let the people who are licensed and specialists to investigate what happened and just let them do their job, you know, because it only makes it harder for the family and for his friends who actually knew him. And something I feel like I just want to like reiterate too is that you know, we all know there was a scandal back in the day with Kobe, and a lot of people have been trying to bring that back to surface. But again, what I say is it's unfair to someone who has passed away to talk dirt on their name if they cannot defend themselves. And again, he still has family, so I just say we keep our respectful bounds as fans and as people. Sometimes your 2 cents don't need to be 2 cents, and be, you know, take your 2 cents and go exchange it for something else. I think we just need to have respect. We need to have empathy. We need to sympathize with his family and all those other families that were aboard on the helicopter too. And I was listening to Christina Mauser, I believe her name was. She was the female coach for the team that was also on the helicopter. And her husband spoke out. I think they have 3 kids. And her husband spoke out, and he spoke to the media Monday morning. And he was just saying that, you know, he had a slumber party with his kids, and they all slept together, and, you know, just trying to realize the fact of what's going on. And he said one of his kids said, like, everyone's really sad what happened. Like, everyone's genuinely sad and mourning. And she said, in a weird way, it feels nice to know other people are sad too. Like, other people are going through these emotions. Of course, she lost her mom they're pretty young kids at a young age, and we won't know to her extent. But I was like, to think of, like, her thinking about other people grieving, like, that child is so mature and so selfless. And for the father to speak out so soon after, you know, what happened to his wife is also very, like, selfless. Because I feel like everybody's also waiting for Vanessa Bryant to publicly say something. And somehow it's going to make things better. Sometimes it's going to help us grieve and stuff. But I hope people just give her time and her space. She got young kids still. Yes. I know we're like, we want to know, we want something, you know, that was close to Kobe and all that, and like, we just have to, like, we just have to have respect.
Like, being, like, I'm sure everybody, like, who's a real Kobe fan, like, not saying who's a real Kobe fan, but, like, you know, once he retired, we were still checking up on him. Like, I would be on his IG, I would check out what he's doing, like, everything, like, you know, because Kobe was, like, our hero. He was the city's hero for, like, close to 10, 15 years.
Yeah. 20.
20, like, even after. Like, he was, like...
He was, 17 when he joined the Lakers?
Yeah.
Did 20 years. Retired in 2016 and was still doing, like, I mean, he had a foundation. He was still at basketball games. He had the Mamba Academy. So he was very much still involved in a lot of things. And I think that's what, like, makes it crazy, because he became a superhuman, right? You think he's, like, in, like, you know, he's, what is that term?
Untouchable
and all that, right? He just, and that's crazy. Like, he's done so much in his 41 years of life. Like, that is, like, crazy of how much he has accomplished, how much he has done, and how much, you know, he meant to his family and stuff. And so, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say another thing that my friend G-Money had brought up. Like, you know, we didn't even get to hear, like, Kobe's Hall of Fame speech. Like, we'll never get to hear that. And hopefully, you know, like, not hopefully, but if the time permits, you know, maybe Vanessa will speak to the community during the Hall of Fame speech, or somebody, like...
Yeah, I'm sure somebody from NBA, somebody close to him will say something. Of course, it won't be as comforting as just having, like, Kobe and having all those people, you know, like, reversing time and having all those people on the helicopter back. And it's going to be crazy, but I think, like, it's great that he's being part of the Hall of Fame, and...
Like, he's definitely going to be in there. It's just like, damn, we'll never get to hear that speech.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm sure all his friends and all of them like who know him well will definitely transfer his spirit and what he would have had said. So that's like the comforting thing too, is like all these people he touched and all these people he knew like will be able to have him in spirit, and it's like, you know, he's still there, just not in physical form. So, you know, our heart goes out to Lakers fans, to Kobe's fans, and
you know, to everybody that lost someone in this tragedy.
Yeah, every family and friends who were affected by this tragedy, and all of those who have passed because they were really doing youth sports, you know, like, and supporting that. And so that's like just an awesome thing. 2 other teammates of his daughters were also on the helicopter, so that Mamba team is going through it. And, you know, they were just trying to do what they do best, play basketball. So, yeah, this was a little bit of a heavy video, but I think it's also therapeutic to just talk about it and to share with the Kobe's fans and Lakers fans, like, share the love, like, memories. Will keep him eternal.
The good times of when we had him here.
Yeah. Be grateful. Like, we all saw that era. And we grew through that era. We watched it live, and that's a big part of history. So, I mean, I just want to say I appreciate Kobe for dedicating more than half of his life to basketball and making so much. Like, he set the bar high for basketball, and it was crazy. Like, one of the last few things that he posted on Twitter and Instagram was like about LeBron, and like he was literally passing the baton to LeBron, and I'm sure LeBron is gonna live up to the expectations, and, you know, set the bar crazy higher, right? And so, yeah, our heart just goes out to the loved ones, and I can't imagine how they feel, and I hope that as public and fans, we can give them their space and their privacy and give them the respect that, you know, Kobe's family and friends deserve.
Yeah.
You want anything before we end the video?
I'm just, man, you know, I don't know what to say right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's rough because we were in LA when, you know, unfortunately Nipsey passed that weekend, and then we went down to his gallery, and so just, you know, us being Nipsey fan, and then baby daddy being a big Kobe fan, and I'm more of like a Kobe supporter fan, that I support him through his love of Kobe, but knowing that he did do great things on this earth, and I hope all of you, you know, grieve like I read on the Instagram post, grieve very healthily, and that we find some type of comfort in what's going on. So y'all be considerate others, love each other,
be thankful for the people you have now.
Like all the players, basketball players have been saying, give people their flowers while they're still here to smell them. And yes, thank you again for joining another Mama Me V video. And we'll bring back more memories once time has passed, and it's a little bit easier to talk about, like you know, Kobe Bryant memories and Lakers memory. Thank you guys, thank you loves for joining our video tonight, and this is Mama V and Baby Daddy signing out.
Oh, yeah.